Well, this is certainly not what I expected. This is a lot more open than I thought I was going to see. So I've just been laying here chilling. I just got a special weather alert. Rain is expected throughout the weekend. Okay, so the concern is flooding.
So it's about 2 o'clock in the morning. As you can hear, the rain is at its peak right now. Oh, here's the wind. Rain's supposed to stop. Hasn't yet.
Oh, it's so good. Hey guys, on our way to Sandbanks Provincial Park for 2 nights spent camping in some rainy springtime weather. Just got on the highway. We got one supercharging stop to make. Car saying I'm going to hit it with 5% left to spare. Currently at 47%. So we'll see how accurate that is. I always show you guys the camping trip itself, but never the journey there. My only charging stop is in 116 kilometers in Belleville. Now, when I first left home, it was saying I was going to arrive there with 2%, but the car will adapt its expected percentage over time. And as you can see now, it's now saying I'm going to hit there with 10%. Essentially, your Tesla will plan out all of your charging stops for you. So you plug into the GPS wherever you're going. Say you want to drive all the way across the country from Ontario to British Columbia. You put in your destination, and the Tesla will essentially plot all the charging stops you need along the way. On a road trip, in order to maximize time spent on the road and the least amount of time charging, you'll actually only be spending like maybe 15 minutes at a given charger, depending. So we are only a couple kilometers away from the supercharger. Autopilot's been taking us the entire way. It's been saying we're going to arrive there with 9% battery. We're at 9% now, so I figure we'll roll in with 8%. Waiting for that to turn green to show that it's charging. All right, we're charging. So let's see what we're pulling here. It's slowly ramping up. Ooh, we're at 129 kilowatts, 141. All right, seems like we're peaking at 141 kilowatts. The max this car can charge at is 150, so we're pretty close to the max peak charging speed, which is nice. We're basically a hop, skip, and a jump away from the campground, so I don't really need to charge up too much. So pretty much just enough to step away, go take a leak somewhere, probably see if there's a coffee shop nearby. And by the time I get back, I'll have more than enough charge to get to the campsite, and then I can just charge at the campsite. People think that charging an electric car takes ages. No, I stopped, plugged my car in at about 8%, went in, used the bathroom, checked out that EV store, which is really cool, by the way. And by the time I came back out, we're at 92%. Not nearly as long to charge these things as people would have you believe. A lot of people forget that when you're on a road trip, you have to stop, you have to take a dump, you have to take a leak, you have to get food. There's cool things to check out. So if you sync that up with when you stop to charge, all the charging locations are at places like this that have amenities to do that. You're perfectly fine. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to show on this channel. Well, this is certainly not what I expected. This is a lot more open than I thought I was going to see. Like, these are all campsites. Each yellow post you see is a new campsite. This There's like nothing separating campsites from one another. I guess this is more of like an RV campsite. There's like nobody else here, but I guarantee you before the evening this whole place is going to be filled up, because when I was booking, all these sites were all occupied. This was the last one left. It's pretty warm right now. It's like 17, 18 degrees. A little bit of wind because it's so open. All right, it's staked out. I'll leave the door open, let the wind hopefully get rid of some of that mold stank that's accumulated in there. Shelter is up, and because I managed to park so close to the electrical outlet, I get access to the RV outlet. We need to put on the actual RV adapter. So we'll plug you in like that. And green. We're charging. Nice. And it says we're only getting 2 kilowatts right now. It's at 80%, 4 hours, 40 minutes until full. Now it can rain all at once. I'm going to use one of the extra mats I have lying around in the car and collect all of these sticks on the ground before it starts raining. They look pretty dry right now. If I collect enough of them, that'll make some really good kindling for getting a campfire going. Should be enough. Welcome to my humble abode for the night. Yeah, it stinks like mold in here. Ooh. It's one thing that really helps out on camping trips with EVs. As long as you pick a site that has outlets, even if it's just a 120 volt outlet, you can plug in and leave with basically a full charge. So I have tested this tent in the snow, but I haven't actually tested it in the rain yet. And it's supposed to rain the next, basically tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. So this will be the test of its worthiness in the wet weather. And I'm working on trading in my old Mazda gas car for a 2015 Nissan Leaf. I've got some interesting things planned for that Leaf if I can get a hold of it. I want to do comparisons with how it fares against the 2023 Tesla Model 3. Not like an apples to apples comparison, just to see, you know, kind of what's changed over the years in EV tech. One of the cool things I want to try with it is try to do a long range road trip using all free chargers. See how that works out. It's the weirdest thing. Before electric cars, I never cared at all about cars. But as soon as I got turned on to Tesla, I don't know, it was like a switch flipped off in my head. All of a sudden, I'm like obsessed with electric cars and electric vehicles. My camera gear, my wool blanket, which is serving as my new pillow. Brought the Z-Packs pad from my sleeping pad, since it's warm enough where I don't need the climate. Basically anything consistently over 0, and I use this. Maybe migrate a little bit away from the wall so I'm not having moisture drip on me from contact. That's what I like about these types of trips. They're low impact. So I've just been laying here chilling. I just got a special weather alert. Rain is expected throughout the weekend. Total rainfall amounts 40 to 70 millimeters. Okay, so the concern is flooding. I'll show you something new and cool that I got. Stopped by good old Walmart on the way here today and picked up my first cooler for food for overlanding. It's a 30 can cooler, something like that. Got some rye bread for toast. I got a 12-pack of eggs. Got a tomato. And I got some big jumbo franks and some hot dog buns. This is going to be dinner tonight. I was getting sick and tired of the dehydrated Nor sidekicks, so I decided to actually spring for some proper camp food this time. This was the other thing you saw me pull out of the cooler there that I also got at Walmart. It's a 15-liter compact little backpack, so while I'm at camp, if I want to go on a little bit of a hike, I have an actual backpack to stick some water bottles in, some snacks, and some emergency shelter, and go on a bit of a hike. And it all compacts down into like this little tiny bag. I was eyeing up a proper firewood splitting axe recently, but for now, this is still all I have. This wood actually seems somewhat dry. The first time in like a year I've had dry camp wood. All right, we are not playing around trying to get this fire started today. All right, let's get this friggin' thing started. We're gonna use the itty bitty ferro rod for this one. Come on, go. Go, go, go. Oh. Man, that just does not want to catch. I don't know what it is with me and campfires, man. I thought I had it for sure this time. Alright, I think I might actually have it this time. So I got here at about 1:30. It's 5:30 now. Car's already at 98% state of charge. 1, 2, 3 to get me started, and then if I want more I can always throw more on. Oh yeah, bud, that's looking good. I have been looking forward to this. Toasted buns, charred hot dog. I'm not a condiment guy. Honestly, even at home, if I had all the condiments in the world, that's a lie. I might put hot peppers and some corn relish on it, but second best, plain. This is mostly ash with a side of water at this point. And a pinch of coffee. Can't even taste the horrendously out of date milk powder. See, it's just like I said, by the end of the day, it's gonna fill up in here. It would seem my neighbors have arrived. Quite an interesting mix too. Like I suspected, it's mostly trailers. I think I'm the only tenter at this this campground. No rain yet, but the temperature is dropping, which means the rain won't be too far behind. I think it's time to retire on into the tent. I like this thing. Got it in one of my Battle Box subscription boxes. Oh, all right. Let this bad boy loft up a little bit. Oh, nice. Feels nice having a tent this size, man. Oh. The car is bigger than my backpacking tent on the inside, but it's still kind of cramped. But with this, man, this is a mansion by comparison. I can actually stretch out and live a life in here. Tonight will be the test. See how it does against the rain? Well, you can hear the rain has definitely started making its presence known. And if you listen closely, you can hear all the frogs and stuff in the background too. Alright, time to close up this thing for the day. Hopefully all my stakeouts and my fly will do enough to keep the water off of the actual tent. Well, the rain isn't particularly strong, just nice and steady. It picks up on occasion and a little bit of wind picks up, but so far not too bad. So far, not to jinx it, but I'm not feeling any wet spots along the edges of the tent where the bathtub meets the walls of the tent. So we'll see how this holds up overnight. I mean, it's just a Coleman tent. I don't expect it to stand up to a friggin' torrent of rain. But anyways, I think that's it for me. I think I'm gonna hit the hay and see how this tent has held up in the morning. Alright. Night, guys. So it's about 2 o'clock in the morning. As you can hear, the rain is at its peak right now. Having a little bit of water ingress, nothing too bad. Just a little bit by the front door here. Just got my ShamWow set up to soak up some of that. And I'm also getting a little bit over here beside my sleeping pad. Just finding random stuff that's not essential that I can use to soak up the water. But other than that, that's the only two problem spots. Everywhere else seems to be mostly dry. Given the amount of rainfall that has been going all night, it's actually not too bad. Alright, I'll go back to bed. Morning. It's still pretty rainy out there. I'm getting some pretty strong gusts of wind out there. Yeah, it's been pouring rain this entire night. It's actually a little calmer now than some of the worst points. Oh, and the wind picks up every now and then. It feels like it's going to blow the tent over. As for how it held up to the rain, she's not perfectly watertight, unfortunately. I got a bit of water ingress here and there, mostly along the outer edge. Mostly by the door. I've got my ShamWow absorbing what's coming in through there. I had some coming in on this wall where the rain fly is not pulled away from it. I've got my little packable backpack absorbing that. Got some accumulation in the corner there. And presumably in the corner underneath my stuff, there's even more there. And the sleeping bag must have been touching up against the wall of the tent, so it's a little bit damp, but it's synthetic, so it's not gonna lose too much warmth from getting a little bit wet. All in all, not too bad for the torture it was put through last night. Room for improvement, but it's not terrible. Oh, here's the wind. That's what I've been talking about. I don't know if I'll try and get a campfire started. I might just use the butane stove and cook some bacon and eggs. Well, the inside of the tent's not too bad, but the grass and everything around it is getting a little flooded. The rain's supposed to stop. Hasn't yet. Yeah, she's pretty rainy out today. Probably can't see me because of the huge raindrop on the lens. Hopefully this peters off because I have a bunch of stuff that needs to dry. Found a new use for this ShamWow and use it as an absorbent floor mat at the front door there. Quite a bit of water ingress in here now. Yeah, after being outside and seeing how horrendous it is out there, I'm actually a little bit more impressed with how the tent's been holding up. It's a lot drier in here, given the conditions outside them. One might think for a moldy thrift store find. I'll just get some waterproofing spray, and that might improve it a little bit for next time. She's still raining a little bit, but I think I'm good to pop my stove down there and get some cooking done. Like that. And then I believe... Alright. First piece. Second piece. Oh man, I wish you guys could smell that. That is such a warm and inviting smell. Nothing quite improves your morale on a rainy, cold day like the smell of cooking bacon. Alright, let's try a piece of this. Oh, it's so good. Healthy? No. Good? Oh yeah. Well, wouldn't exactly call it a bright and sunny day, but it seems like the sun's coming out to play at least a little bit. It's not so dark and gloomy anymore. I don't know how well it comes through in the GoPro, but it's not so grim and dark. There's so much grease in here, it's going to be more like deep frying an egg at this point. The grease is higher than the eggs in there. Oh boy. Well, not exactly my best work when it comes to eggs, but they're cooked. Alright, greasified deep fried eggs. Greasy, but good. So all of the puddles that I was worried about starting to build up seem to have dissipated, which is good. Seeped into the ground, which means they're not gonna flood me in the tent. Well, the rain finally stopped, thankfully, at least for now. It's chilly. It's like 6 degrees right now. A lot cooler than I was thinking it was gonna get. Not as cold as I was prepared for. I'll take this over rainy weather. Leave the screen door open on the tent and hopefully it'll air dry itself out. There, I re-staked out the tent fly so that it's at least sticking out a little bit more further away from the base of the tent. I did the same on this side. It's a lot further out than it was last night. I think we'll do a lot better tonight. Alright, let's go exploring during the only window of opportunity that we have. It's like stepping into another world. Vastly different than over there in the campground. Yeah, look how far that coastline goes, man. And back to the campsite. Half of the people that were supposed to be here this weekend haven't shown up yet. Like the site next to me that was supposed to have somebody in it, they're not there yet. None of those sites are occupied there. Probably half of the people saw the weather and screwed off. There we go. With this window open, now I have both sides open, and that'll create some through draft and hopefully dry things out a little faster in here. I don't believe it. I'm sitting here relaxing And the sun has actually come out to play. How about that? My napkin I saved earlier. This will serve as my fire starting tinder. Oh, we got it. All this firewood was kept in the back of my car overnight, so it's nice and dry. Boop. 1, 2, 3. I should probably cook all these up. All right, I didn't burn the buns this time. Got the site all picked up a little bit, just kind of making my job in the morning a little bit easier, because I want to tear ass out of here first thing in the morning. Basically, as soon as first light hits, I'm popping out of my sleeping bag and getting the rest of this all set up to go. Alright, time to retire inside of the tent for the night. Got a little dirty inside this tent. My faults. Having the door and the window open and having all that air flow through really helped with drying stuff out in here. That was a really smart play. And if the rain holds off from being as ugly as it was last night, I think we're in for a bit of a better night tonight. My actual concern tonight is actually wind. It's getting super gusty, and like my whole tent is like folding over at like a 30-degree angle. So hopefully she don't get too much more windy out there, or I might be having some poles snap on me. Nothing quite like climbing into your sleeping bag all nice and warm and dry and toasty. All in all, it was a pretty good little adventure. Got to put my tent through its paces in not only strong rain, but also pretty decent wind too. First thing in the morning, I'm just gonna pile all this in the bag and take it home, because I gotta pull it all apart and let everything all dry anyways, including the tent. I don't want this tent to grow mold on it again. Good morning. As you can hear, the blue jays are singing me the song of their people. I think it's like 7 o'clock. 6:49, close enough. Yeah, I think it's time to get up, start tearing all this down. Oh, it wasn't too bad last night. Even the wind wasn't too bad. Occasional gusts of wind and spurts of rain, but honestly, nothing to write home about. Alright, time to tear all this down and pack it into the car. Well, alright, that's it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. And if you want to see all the crazy adventures I get up to with all of my EVs, both big and small, click the card.